Welcome to our session on China, which promises to be a journey of adventure, entertainment and interest. A lot of people, as you know, the world is getting a lot smaller, and many British program makers have started to look for opportunities in the Chinese market. But a lot of people are saying, do you know what? It's too difficult. Can you really get it? Can you really make a business out of working with China? Today, we're hoping over the next hour to give some information and insight to those of you who have yet to work with the Chinese, and also for those of you who have worked in China, an opportunity for you to talk about your experiences, let off steam perhaps, who knows. And we have a panel that is absolutely adept at that, and we're very lucky in particular to have some of the key broadcasting commissioners from China today. So on our panel, on my far here is Xu Xuan, who is a producer and director who works in the UK and in China. Next to her, we have Mr. Bui Sheng, who is the Deputy Chief Editor of Hunan Broadcasting Station. Next to him, we have Mr. Wenchang Zhao, who's the Deputy Director of Program Control at CCTV. Jean Dong is the Managing Director of Zesper Media. She'll tell us a little bit more about what she does later. And she's also going to act as our interpreter today. And finally, here is the suitably monikered Rick Shaw from Lion TV, who has worked very successfully in China. Before we start, I think we're going to talk about formats. We're going to talk about factual programming, but our visitors here would like to introduce some very important and honoured people.
首先感谢这个组委会给我们中央电视台这次机会跟大家做一次交流。其次呢，我也向在座各位女士们、先生们隆重介绍来参加此次电视节的我的同事们。
First of all, we'd like to extend our gratitude towards the MGEITF committee for inviting CCTV to be here, to have this opportunity to exchange views and information with our colleagues, all the ladies and gentlemen here. And it gives me great pleasure to extend our greetings from myself as well as my colleagues who are sitting right here at the front row in the audience today.
我们团的团长。
Now, the leader of our delegation, the deputy editor-in-chief of CCTV China Central Television, state broadcaster of China.
我坐在这儿就是受他的指派。
I'm here. I was appointed by Mr. Huang to be sitting here on behalf of CCTV.
接下来是我们总编室的节目播出部的主任陈忠。
And next is Madam Chen, who is in charge of program broadcasting at CCTV for the whole station.
这位女士这次出访回国之后，就将担任中央电视台总编室节目推介部的主任。
So upon her return, immediately she's going to change her title to the head of program development and promotion at Program Control, which is a commissioning department of CCTV.
So she's been promoted since she's been in Edinburgh.
您升职了。
祝贺。
她原来是中央电视台的所有的节目播出工作，各个频道的播出的总体的协调管理都是她负责。
Ms. Chen used to be in charge of coordinating all the broadcasting, all the programming of all CCTV channels.
Okay.
那么接下来之后，她所从事的工作就是把中央电视台好的节目推向中国境内的每一个角落，也愿意有机会推向世界，包括英国。
So next, she's going to be in charge of promoting and distributing and recommending all the quality programs from CCTV to nationwide broadcasters in China and hopefully overseas as well.
So I mean, one of the reasons we should say we're introducing these colleagues is because afterwards, Jean will help you if you want to meet any of them to discuss projects you've got and so forth.
And also tomorrow we're going to have a CCTV reception and they're going to talk more in detail about what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So, but today is a very key event for them to share their view on the China TV market. 对，他说我也顺便说了一下，明天我们会有一个专场的活动，会更具体的把这些工作向大家进行介绍一下。
接下来是我们
Next.
张传玲女士，
Madam Zhang.
她是我们总编室受众服务部的。
And Madam Zhang is in charge of audience services at Program Control at CCTV.
所有中央电视台的忠实的观众反映的意见，都会经过她的整理，传达到包括我们黄总在内的各位台领导。
So she's in charge of all the feedback, all the correspondence from all our audiences around the world are collected and analyzed and reported through her to all the leaders at CCTV and channels.
下一步也包括海外的观众，因为我们马上要成立呼叫中心。
Next, we're going to expand that for the overseas audience because we're going to have a center for that as well.
最后一位是我们严爽小姐，
Miss Yan,
她来自中央电视台总编室研发部，负责全台的研发的工作。
CCTV program control, and she's in charge of new program development at CCTV.
所以中央电视台搞研发合作的各项的合同，海外的合同，一定是会经过她的手履行相关审批手续的。
So all our new program development, commissioning, all our international collaboration agreement are all done through her.
介绍完。
So that's all
Terrific.
from CCTV.
And do we want to just very briefly introduce the people from Hunan here?
Yeah, 那也请盛总把我们湖南的各位同仁也介绍一下。
我们这次来了4位同事，第一位是我们副总编杨伟明先生，他是分管我们湖南广电的这个节目创新，也我们湖南广电也先后经过他们的手派了3批这个人才队伍，一共是43个人到英国来学习节目模式。
So first of all is 这位贵姓？
杨伟明
Mr. Yang Wenming, he's the Deputy Director of Hunan Broadcasting Station, and he's in charge of all the new program development. So in charge of licensing new formats, and also through him we have sent 3 delegations over to the UK as a training program, altogether 43 producers to learn about TV production and program development.
我们到英国来的第一批学员就回去就做了一个节目叫《变形记》，在全国已经很有影响。
Yeah, upon the completion of their training, they developed a very popular format called the Big Makeover, drawing inspirations from what they've learned from the UK. Probably worth talking about if you want it later.
这位帅哥是湖南经视副总监张宏伟先生。
Mr. Zhang, and he's also the Deputy Director of Hunan TV.
湖南卫视很多节目都是经过他们频道先做完以后再放到卫视播出。
So they run the terrestrial channel of Hunan, and those programs were later broadcast on Hunan satellite television. So they produce key programs on the channel.
第3位就是我们湖南娱乐频道总副总监李志华先生。
Deputy Director Mr. Li, he's the Deputy Director of Hunan Entertainment Channel.
我们湖南台有一个节目叫《超级女声》，就是由他们频道引进，然后播出年花出来的。
Yeah, so the most popular talent show, Supergirl, which I believe we'll talk about later, was initiated by him and his team.
最后一位就是我们罗红辉女士。
Madam Law.
罗红辉。
红辉罗。
她是湖南卫视研发部副主任，然后到目前为止，他们已经引进了27档这个引进的模式，海外模式，包括《民生大阵》《舞动奇迹》和最高档。
Okay, and Madam Law, she's the Deputy Director of New Program Development of Hunan TV, and she's in charge of licensing overseas formats. So altogether, they have licensed 27 formats from overseas producers, including Strictly Come Dancing, Top Gear.
Yeah. Well, great. You see, you could go and see Peter Fincham. He might give you an audience of, I don't know if you're lucky, 12 million. These guys could give you audiences of what, 300?
他说我们在英国的话，最高的收视率也就是1000万左右。不过我们在座的电视台的收视率有多少？
我拿到了8月22号，也就是昨天的数据。中央电视台的收视份额是32.92%。
那个数字是多少人口呢？
相当于3亿多。
3亿多。He's the latest figure on the 22nd of August that our CCTV audience share in China is 32.9%, which is over 300 million on average.
Come on, that's got to be good. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. We're going to talk about formats to begin with, and we've got a small VT. There's obviously only one funky white boy here on the panel, so please excuse that. I think from the audience, I think we're quite interested in Top Gear as a starting point.
大家其实都很关心那个最高档这个节目。
So what was it about Top Gear that
I think Mr. Sheng will give you some latest information on that. It is quite interesting case study.
我是说真的，说假的。
说真的 ，Yeah, he's like, should I tell you the truth?
Yes.
We want to know the truth.
我们刚才已经介绍了，我们已经引进了27档节目，包括这个舞动奇迹，这个一以敌百，还有什么民生大阵，这些节目在全国的收视率都非常好。但是这个最高档，是2011年4月23号开播。然后当年就停播了。
So yeah, as I mentioned, we have licensed 27 formats from overseas, including Strictly Come Dancing 1 to 100, etc., and they were all very popular programs. On the other hand, Top Gear was first broadcast on April 2011, but the same year we've decided to stop it.
那我就接着话题，我多说两句
So I'd like to just to elaborate a bit on that.
第一个呢，我觉得我刚才说的是真话也是实话，但是要对中国的市场要有信心。
So yeah, I'm telling the truth. I'm not really bigging it up, or I'm really telling you how the rating went. But I'm not saying that you should lose your confidence about Chinese audience.
一个呢是中国的市场很大，所以中国的媒体上。他还是看着自己家里的地，还没有想到种人家的地，所以呢，这个对外的这个销售的这个决心还不是很大。
对外销售。
对外推广了和对外面引进了，还不是达到一种主流的一种。
So China is a large market and a very unique market. So we as broadcasters is really looking at our home market and looking at what they are looking for and produce program that they need instead of looking outside our home. It's still not a mainstream type of production to always look at overseas format and to adapt them locally. So we're still trying to develop our homemade programs.
But would it be right to say that what we might call light factual leisure programs are less likely to be successful in China than, say, game show or talent show formats?
Leisure as in Top Gear.
Yes.
他说这个像最高档是一般这种就是算是休闲爱好类的节目，是不是没有我们那种顶级娱乐节目要卖得好？
这就是我要讲的第二点，要对中国的市场要有耐心。
That's right. That's the second thing I'd like to talk about here is we need to have patience as far as China is concerned.
这个中国市场很大，众口难调。
It's a large market of very varied tastes.
这个普通观众的口味还是在这个娱乐化稍微浅一点层次上面，在作为电视媒体还在这一方面的受众比较多一点。
So the general average audience, our average John and James in China are still into light-hearted entertainment show that's fairly basic.
而且这个中国还对国际市场呢也不是很了解，所以造成了很多原因呢，就是中国的市场还。刚才这位女士也介绍了，就说有一位媒体人就说中国市场赚得不太多，是吧？
刚才他在那个旁白里也说了，就是究竟我们外国人在中国赚没赚到钱？
所以我刚才总结的，中国的市场很大，我们自己媒体还自己还有饭吃。第二呢，就是中国的这个众口难调，外来的东西呢必须要有本土化的一种磨合。第三呢，就是中国人还不太懂国际市场。不太了解这些东西， 所以我们还有一个磨合的过程。
So what I like to say here is, of course, we are focusing a lot on our home market, and secondly, our home market taste is very varied. It's hard to please everybody, and also as broadcasters and TV stations who mainly make most of our own production, we also have very not enough understanding of the overseas market. Therefore, we're not. So basically, my point is, first of all, the supply and demand in our home market is doing fairly well. So there's no urgency for people to have to look at the overseas market. Secondly, which is the key here, even when we do a good format, if it sells well in the Western country, it doesn't mean it could in China, because of the adaptation is such an art form that it has to be done just so. So that's very tricky. And thirdly, as I said, international market to us is largely unknown.
A question to Mr. Zhao. Our CCTV, what are you looking for with formats?
他说：“那请问一下赵主任，我们作为央视来说，在海外市场，我们想寻找些什么东西？”
应该说央视，这些年的发展，应该过于迅猛。包括频道的数量，包括节目播出的数量，大幅度增加。从中央电视台的频道资源看，现在有25个开录频道。其中纳入到进入市场一个收视数据统计的有16个频道。那么这16个频道应该说是参与市场竞争最直接的。我这样有几组数据可以提供给在座的各位。一组数据就是中国的电视的收视观众这个群体的数量，应该是在12亿4794万人。
这么精确的数字？
应该说，包括中央电视台的16个频道，还有我们在座的湖南卫视的盛总，我们都在一起，在竞争上，应该说一起在竞争这个市场份额。央视8000多名职工，上到比我大的领导，包括我们的顶级老板，包括黄总，包括我的员工，包括严爽，这8000多名职工一天到晚的，也有快乐，也有苦恼。我想这些苦恼和快乐，可能跟在座的各位有很多相似之处。无怪乎就是节目是不是好看，播出去是不是能够有收视率。所以这样呢，应该说大家的有很多共同点，这也是可能促成今天我们能坐在一起，做一些沟通交流的一个机会的可能，成为一种可能。实际刚才有先生讲说，跟中国是做生意少，赚钱少，是吧？
对。
实际刚才说这句话时，我有一种感触，就是我们能不能换一种角度去想这个问题，想市场的问题。就比如中国这个市场，这个蛋糕，不管现在处于一种什么状态，是巧克力多还是奶油多，还是面粉多，就是我们能不能一起去培育这个市场？去耐心的等待这个市场。因为是中国这个市场确实，这个作为一个整个的全球的电视传媒来讲，它是很重要一个组成部分，也是越来越受到国际电视这个界的一个非常关注的一个市场。
好，sorry, I'll just quickly summarize what Mr. Zhao had said. So it's have to say in recent years, CCTV has developed very quickly, almost too quickly for itself, and we have developed and produced a large number of new programs, and now we have 25 terrestrial channels broadcasting pretty much full time, and out of which 16 of those channels are closely monitored for ratings and figures. So I'd like to share some figure with yourselves here, which is that in China, the TV viewing figure is altogether 1.2479 billion. So it's a large audience that myself, CCTV channels, as well as Hunan, we are all competing for. So it's a large piece of cake. And At CCTV, we have over 8,000 full-time staff. My boss, such as Mr. Huang, and my colleagues, such as Ms. Yan, they're working hard every day, and they have joy, they have frustration, and I think a lot of it is very similar to the people sitting here today, right? Because the key issues we are worrying about are whether the program is good or not, whether it's engaging, whether it's attracting a lot of audience, it's good rating, etc. So I think we share a lot in common. Now, I think it's, you did mention, Wayne, that I think the question on the segment VT we just saw, that are people making money from China? I think it's of course a very practical question we need to ask ourselves, and if people are not making enough money. So I'd like to suggest that we look at it from a different angle. I'd like to suggest that if we look at China as a big audience, as this huge piece of cake, what is it made of? And whether there's more chocolate, there's more cream, let's observe it, invest some of our time and expertise into it. Let's nurture this audience together and bring more awareness to them. I think this is really a joint effort, that rather than you come here, you take, you go. It's really a joint teamwork between our overseas partners and ourselves.
There's been some concern in the past that is there enough protection of copyright, intellectual property in the Chinese market? And I know that's something that Hunan and CCTV are both engaged with. So.
Yeah, so it's a concern shared by people overseas that's almost holding them back when it comes to China. So let's see how they address it. 他说，确实，其实我们海外的电视工作者呢都有一些顾虑，比如说像版权呐、这个抄袭啊，还有一些这些这样的情况，我们作为央视和湖南卫视的有什么方法来为我们来打消这个问题？这个问题你们怎么看？
应该说，中央电视台在电视节目的版权管理上，第一部相关规定叫《中央电视台的版权管理规定》。下发的日期应该是在2003年左右，也就是10年前，我们就有了相应的版权管理规定。在这个方面，我们不单是为了有效地保护中央电视台自己的相应的版权的权益，同时也为了约束我们中央电视台的每一个电视节目的生产频道或者叫机构，所从事的一些节目生产，能够有效地维护这个节目版权市场的一个秩序，所以应该说，无论是10多年来，无论是在我们具体的节目生产部门，还是在我们中央电视台的管理层面，对版权问题都是非常重视的。我记得梦想合唱团，这个当中前不久我们有一次沟通，也是引进的一个 format。这当中有一个版权问题，就是涉及到一个第三方的名字的使用问题。
对。
当时我记得，我就迅速请我们相关的版权的提供方，出一个律师函。我们将总编室的版权管理部将依照相关的版权规定，以及参照相关的业内的一些版权上的一些管理的要点，去加以处置，能够有效的维护相关方的权益，也有效的让这个节目市场正常的推进。
对，regarding within CCTV itself, over 10 years ago, we have already stipulated a very detailed and comprehensive copyright protection regulation. So it's a set of rules that we put in place first. So not only to protect our own interests or our programs, copyright is not infringed, also to provide guidance and regulations to every channel, every producer, to protect the rights of our partners and people that we work with and party of interests, to regulate ourselves internally as well as to provide an orderly market for China for other people to take notes and hopefully comply as well. So from producer level up to the management and administration level, we pay great attention to this particular issue. For example, the Dream Choir, which is Clash of the Choir format that Zespa had helped CCTV to license from Shine Group, one of the detail that came up was a third party. When we involve any third party and when they make any announcement, we need to make sure that they protect the interests of our collaborator, which was Shine Group. In fact, we had lawyers involved to issue very well stipulated letters and regulations for any third party we work with to protect the rights and make the right announcement and claims. So these are the things we have already a set of measure in place.
So actually there's a firm regulatory framework as you would expect in other countries. And of course when people talk about that kind of regulatory framework and intervention, people often talk about what happened with perhaps one of the most successful shows in China, which was Supergirl. And we heard that this show was very successful and it was too successful. We're very ignorant of what actually happened. It'd be quite interesting to know the story of that.
对，他想也是，他说我们在国外那个了解的中国的这种海外引进模式或者借鉴的这个节目是一个当时大热的是湖南卫视的超女这个节目。后来说超女节目，不过我们对这个超女节目和中国市场都不太了解。我们听到的风声呢，就是说超女节目太火爆了，然后火爆到最后都不能再继续播了，还是做了。他说我们也很想了解一下这个的具体的情况。
我讲一下题外话哈，就是回答主持人开始的这个版权问题。这个我有一个印象就是我们今天开会不容易。我们从长沙坐飞机到北京，再从北京到阿姆斯特丹，再从阿姆斯特丹到这里。昨天晚上我们宾酒店还漏水，一晚没睡觉，我还坐在这里了。我就是有个决心来的。第二个感想呢，就是今天上午我看到所有的会议厅都是人满为患但是今天我们现场还是有点稀稀疏疏，就是对中国还是不了解。在座的观众，在座的来宾确实不容易坐到这里来了，谢谢你们。
So yeah, I'd like to maybe talk about how I feel at the moment. If just to give you a background picture, really, I feel it's such a rare opportunity for us to be here because myself and my colleagues, all five of us, had caught a plane from Changsha to begin with, then Beijing, then Amsterdam, and London, and last night was pretty much sleepless because of the jet lag. And we're sitting here and we feel it's a good karma and to be here with everyone. And today, this morning, we have also observed that every room was packed with so many delegates. However, I feel this room is not quite yet filled. And is that because the people still have not enough interest or not enough understanding of China? So it's just something that I'd like to express here.
Okay. But coming back to that actual program, which was a very successful show, why is that no longer on air? Supergirl.
Yeah, do you want to?
If you can, yeah, because I think people are quite interested. We heard a lot of.
他说，因为我们都是因为那个超女特别有名，我们也都因为我先前也都跟他说，我说超女是等于把中国的这个才艺秀选秀的这个整个的这个风气是把这个趋势是带起来的，所以是很有历史意义的。所以他说我们也很仰慕这个节目。
所以我们这样的努力，为什么？就是因为在超女上面我们尝到了甜头。所以我们现在的湖南广电对走出去非常有这个信心。只有中西的文化的结合，本地的这个把西方的模式在中国再进一步的本土化开发，我们才有信心把电视做得更加完美。所以今天的湖南广电每年准备了1000万作为购买模式、研发模式的资金。在英国来说就是100万英镑。
对。Which is why we're sitting here. Coming back to what he said, it is because we benefited so greatly from adapting good overseas programs such as Supergirl. So we are very confident that by participating in prestigious events such as the MGEITF. We will develop more partners with people sitting here today, and to combine our East and Western approach together and to license more format and adapt them successfully. We are confident we can do more. We have put aside £1 million every year to license new formats. So we are determined to work to develop further on this front.
所以你不要担心，用了你的版权不给钱。
So please do not worry. Rest assured, we will pay you for your license fee.
Oh, not worried about that. Not worried about it at all. We've got to come up
对，
with
但
something.
是我们不担心。
你刚才问的这个问题，我就说你不要担心，我们有钱。
Yeah, he said, I understand where you're coming from, so please be assured we will pay a right price for it.
Well, let's look at one of the shows that you were involved with. We've got a clip of the Chinese version of Clash of the Choirs. Can we just show that? Now, that was a show that was a relatively small format in the Shine catalogue, but became this enormous hit because of, I mean, Jean, you were involved in this show. Why do you think that worked so well in this market?
Yeah, actually, Wayne, I think you touch on a very key point here, which is I think we're all familiar with the big brands, you know, the Got Talent, the X Factor, Top Gear, etc. But I found it's when they apply into China, we have to see which one could work. The ones working very well in the West not necessarily work very well in the East. I think Richard himself has also worked with people locally in China, and they do come from slightly different cultural background, different language, different history, etc. So the taste is different, and also the adaptation, as both Mr. Zhao and Mr. Sheng had pointed out, it is the art form to adapt it successfully. I'll just quickly talk about why this relatively small format worked in China. It's because this format ticked a few good boxes. In China, as we know, it's a communist country. The culture is more about teamwork. So instead of me, I want to be a star, I want to be famous, whatever it takes, they are talking about choir. And it's about celebrities. So celebrity has a good draw of the audience, but it's about celebrities going back to their hometown. And so there's a bit of nostalgia. So people want to see the background story about the stars. But they're there to audition, to select a choir that is going to sing for their hometown, and they're going to win a grand prize. As we know in China, there's no cash prize. It's not allowed by law. So the prize become a charity donation of 1 million yuan towards their chosen charity. So there was children born with brittle disease and heart genetic disease, and children who poured from the mountainside, couldn't go to school barefoot. Some children get drowned, so they have a charity to build bridges for mountains. So we have the touching element, sort of tug at people's heartstring, and it's about a team, and it's a team made of all kinds of people, chefs and women selling pancakes, etc. But they're all there to do something for their hometown.
And was that because you spotted that in the Shine catalogue,
Yes.
and you realised, okay, this can translate quite easily to the Chinese market?
Exactly. This is what we do at Zespa Media. What we do is we understand exactly what broadcasters such as CCTV are looking for. We work closely with all their channels, from children channel to family entertainment to pure entertainment, sports, news, movie, military, science and education channel, and they tell us what they're looking for. So when they said we want a family-friendly entertainment show, Saturday night prime time, we went out and started looking at what formats there are out there, and we handpicked this one especially to be recommended to
And do you think it's realistic for British producers to come to you with paper formats to the broadcasters in China, and those could actually get on air in China before?
Yeah, that is what we do. We don't give them false hopes. We don't. I mean, we are very demand-driven. It's what China is looking for. Then we look for the right thing to supply. Instead of there's a lot of supply and we have to try to push them onto China, and it has to work, because a lot of them don't work. Like Big Brother would never work, because China don't want to encourage this kind of voyeurism, the ugly side of human nature. TV is, in China, play a kind of parenting role. They want to give people something positive. A bit like BBC, educate, inform and entertain. It's not about exposing my embarrassing body or something like let's make fun of these celebrities. So it's so we understand where the government and the broadcasters are coming from.
Okay. Let's now move on to you, Rick, to talk about the experience you've had as a British producer working in China. Perhaps you'd like to say a little bit about what you and Lion have done.
So Lion
只有这个好一个。
went to China first in 2005, and we were an early group in there also thinking that the streets were paved with gold, and of course they're not. But what we did do is we created a model for working in China that saw a specialist factual company, which is what we do, come back with a product that had been invested in by China, that was production managed in China and produced in China, but destined for the international market. So, in fact, I think it was Xu who pointed us in the direction of the biggest and most important thing that we needed, which was a partner. And in the first instance, it was Phoenix, in fact, Television, with whom we developed a working production relationship and a relationship as an investor. And in return for a downstream interest in the international version of the project that we were creating, provided ground support and ground facilities. It's a simple model as that. I was irritated, actually, if I'm going to be absolutely truthful, by the title of this session. Intentionally, of course. Yeah. We've not really talked commercially about what Lion has done financially, but I will tell you what the results of that first venture that we had into China was. I think probably the best one to do it is with the First Emperor, which was a project about Qin, the man who unified China, co-produced with Phoenix Television and some other international broadcasters, which single program, now 6 years on, has netted gross, after production costs and after recovery and after all of that, $250,000. A proportion of which has gone back to our original Chinese co-producers, who are now very hungry, having seen international success in the international market, to do considerably more of that, because that's a worthwhile investment for them. Since that first project, we've done a number of similar one-offs and specials and series, and then we decided to move into a different form of Chinese making of Chinese television, which was making Chinese school, which was an obs doc set in China, which was a kind of very odd thing for us to do because we would have thought it would have been impossible. It wasn't impossible, and that was our most recent production out of China. And we're going to go back to China in the course of the next 2 years to do both more of the kind of China school project and to do more of the international co-collaborations designed for the international market. So I don't agree with that it's a long walk for a short drink. It's a long way and it takes a long time and you have to have exactly the right partners and you have to know what you're doing. But if you can put that all together in the right order, then I think China is a really, really interesting place. I think what people go to China thinking is that they think they can go and make television for Chinese broadcasters. Now, I think that is an incredibly hard thing to do. And even us, after 10 years worth of experience, still consider that to be a very, very challenging proposition. Interestingly, I think we probably will be working with some Chinese broadcasters to make television for the Chinese market, which will also have an international version. But that has been a long time coming. That is, after very many years of very careful work in preparation for that. So,
Xu, I mean, you're a rare beast because you're a producer who's produced and a writer who's produced in China and in the UK. What would you sum up the differences between the Chinese way of working in television and the sort of British European way?
I think Lion was very brave because 7 years ago it was me who introduced Lion to China, and at the time I couldn't work on the series, and in fact I wrote the treatment for Chinese school, but that was a model in the sense that it's not genuine co-production because the Chinese really provided the facilities at the local level and then provided the access which they charge you money actually for it. And then in return, they acquire the Chinese language version. So it is a win-win situation, but I think the Chinese win more because they got the production fee, local production fee. They also got the Chinese rights. And Richard is talking about this difficulty of making films for actually Chinese channels. But I think since then, television has moved on. We're talking about this extraordinary phenomenon of a format import into China. But in terms of documentaries, in terms of co-production, we also have come a long way. For example, last year, I thought we were going to show a trailer. Yeah, but last year we co-produced 2 programs with China. One is with the Beijing television stations on a 2-hour series called Age of the Enlightenment, Heroes of the Enlightenment. It's 18th century European history, really about how the modern world was born. And then the second program is an hour special. Naturally, the Enlightenment was a co-production with Arte, BBC Worldwide, and Beijing Television. And Beijing Television put in more money than Arte and the BBC put together. And the second program was a 1-hour co-production between BBC, Arte, Dutch television, and the Chongqing Science and Education Channel. I know you haven't heard about it, but it's one of the biggest documentary channels in China. And again, they put equal sum of money as the BBC and more than Arte into this co-production. So what do the Chinese partners want? I think this is the question, no doubt, Richard wants to find out, and some of you may be keen to know. I think we are in the stage where China wants to engage with the world and wants to understand what goes on. So by doing that, I think co-production is a very, very good way. I still remember when the Chinese controllers, both from Beijing Television and from Chongqing, came to the viewing. And what they thought and what they told us was very interesting, because this is a world out there, which, especially in Britain, which makes such wonderful documentaries, and they want to learn, and they want to engage with the community. If they said, if there is an entrance fee we have to pay, that's it, we are going to pay it, and we are going to learn, we are going to join the club, and we are going to develop programs together, because this is actually a win-win situation. The other thing I think is, I think there is increasing, just like the formatted programs, there is increasing demand for documentaries, because in China now, today, there's this increasing commercialization, which obviously is represented by Hunan television, but there's also the other side, the increase of documentary channels. CCTV also has, a new documentary channel. There's an education channel. There are 5 other purely documentary channels. I think partly this answers the government's demand. There is enough commercialization. That's why sometimes those 2 popular sort of entertainment programs are stopped. But series, educational programs, but also serve an entertainment purpose, are also on the rise. And that's why CCTV 9, which is a new documentary channel, which was launched last year, a year ago, or 16 months ago, is rapidly increasing and establishing its position. So this documentary serves the purpose. I think the Chinese channels which engage with the world and deliver the best programs also both answer a call from the government, but also has this market, a niche market. I think documentary is always a niche market. So, I mean, this is a good time.
I mean, that's very interesting. I'm sure most people don't realise that these high-end documentary series, I mean, a series about the Enlightenment, the idea that it was going to be largely funded by a Chinese broadcaster is quite remarkable, really. I mean, there's a source of co-production investment, Richard. That must excite you quite a lot.
There's no question. There's a big hunger, I think, not only for product which will play in the Chinese market and that will fulfill all of SAFT's calls for appropriate programming, for which there is a new enthusiasm, but also plays in the international market, has a commercial end in sight for a UK producer. And in my experience, the Chinese broadcasters who we've talked to, Beijing TV is a really interesting bunch. I mean, I walked into Beijing TV and was in awe of this extraordinary institution that I had really very, little idea even existed. And that's in Beijing. It's the most astonishingly ambitious and aspirational and keen organization who are anxious to learn. I think that some of the brilliant program makers in CCTV also, who are in many respects incredibly fine program makers, are also very keen to be exposed to Western program making, and I think there's a big opportunity there for British co-producers to take expertise and co-produce. I'm sure that in the course of the next 18 months to 2 years, CCTV will be engaging very heavily with the best of British program co-producers.
Yeah, we've only got a few minutes left. We've got a couple of minutes left. So I wonder, do we have any questions from the floor? Yes, we've got one here. Sorry, can you wait for a microphone and just say who you are? And have we got a microphone?
Yeah, it's coming.
Sorry about this. That's a...
3个动物题材。真的吗？最近我们准备下个月准备去马文，准备做路。
他是苏格兰的那个电视那个委员会。但是我们都是相互学习，在那个共同制作当中有没有？不过在就是我们会投资多少，究竟这个成本我们需要就怎么去计算？
Oh, sorry.
I think we can talk later, but just to sum it up, because it is media. I think we have to realize media is very much controlled by the government, and all the stations are owned by the government. But in terms of co-production, I think the easiest way is some department or some areas where you're going to film. They have, Chinese is very structured. So they have the media in charge of foreign sort of exchanges, will deal or will take on, or part of the CCTV, part of Hunan Television. They all have foreign affairs bureau, which are in charge both of buying programs but also co-producing. So that is a easy access. But if there's no joint production, then you are basically asked them to facilitate the whole thing. So it's like a normal production arrangement. And it really depends on your topic. Some are quite expensive, some are very reasonable. Recently, right now, we are working with the National Geographic and the BBC and the Sky Television on Panda series, a 3D movie. And this took National Geographic 10 years to get access and for me to get them into China. But there's no access fee. But 6 months ago, Japan, I think NHK paid, $500,000 just to get access. So it's really a huge difference. It depends on how you really frame the production. I think there is a way that both they and you can benefit. But of course, the cases are very different.
Okay.
But we can talk about it later.
We've got one more. We've got time for one more question, which James has.
James Baker from Red Arrow. We're a production distribution group in Europe. I was interested in how we find ways of doing creative development with your creative talent in China in the most effective way. It's almost taking it a step before co-production and thinking about how you can work together to develop new ideas across all genres. We work in drama and entertainment and factual, but I'm interested in how we gain access to the best creative talent to understand and work with them on their ideas.
That's very interesting. I think CCTV has a lot to say about that because we just launched the first creativity campaign to develop new ideas along with, and we are inviting leading production houses and format creators from the UK, the US to come and work with CCTV producers and co-develop format and co-produce a pilot, get the commissioning and move on forward, and all expenses paid for, and you'll be paid a fee. Could be a rights sharing, could be premium consultancy fee. It's a range of collaboration structure. But Mr. Zhao, I'm sure we could go into more detail.
这位先生的所提的问题也是我们央视很感兴趣的。
We're greatly interested in that area as well. So, bingo, that's exactly what we want to do.
Great.
我们都关心这个问题。央视的节目制作未来的发展离不开好的创意、好的模式。
For CCTV to develop and keep on offering quality programs, we need to have new formats, new program ideas, and collaborate with people like yourselves.
央视的研发的机制，无论是从资金管理上充足，还有这个日常的运行上，我们有相应的版权、这个研发。包括使用单位，各样的配套的措施，我们愿意跟世界范围内的任何一家机构和个人的好的创意拥有者进行合作。
So we at CCTV we have sufficient funding, especially for commissioning, co-development of format as well as pilot production. Tomorrow, I'm just quickly mention here. Tomorrow at 3:30, we're going to CCTV is going to have a special session to talk about how much funding and what they're doing. Sufficient funding, and we have a new program development department commissioning new program to be made, and we also have a very good system in place in terms of supporting each other and working together on this. So we'd like to welcome companies and individuals worldwide to come to us and work with us.
Finally.
我说啊，你说我没有，没事。这次来英国，我最大的一个任务就是要刚才是几位先生要讲的事情，就是纪录片的合作。中国人的纪录片为什么走不到西方？因为西方人听不懂中国人讲的故事的方式。西方的纪录片为什么在中国收视率很偏低？就是我们对西方人的讲故事的方式也不是很理解，这是我们最大的问题。所以刚才提到了，就是从头就我们制定我们讲故事的方式，这是我们最有效的一个办法。为此，我设计了一个活动，叫做“我们合作吧”。这个“吧”是98的“吧”。首先我设计让40个人做一个圆桌，然后每个人介绍我们自己的项目。这40个人里面有20个中国人，有20个西方的媒体人。讲完以后，下午互动就是我需要什么，你需要什么，你缺少什么，我缺少什么，然后我们达成共识，结成亲家。这是我一个设计，原来是9月份要完成的，因为种种原因，可能是在明年或者后面。今天上午我跟这位女士也商量了，我们合作吧。
谢谢。So yeah, I think as far as documentary is concerned, why we do have good program makers, but our documentary has never really reached the West and vice versa, because I think the key problem here is the way that we tell stories is very different to the way you guys tell the story, and sometimes we don't quite grasp and appreciate that the art form that it tends to take, how we, not just language, but the way we think and the way we tell it. So I have actually brainstormed a event myself that I want to call it a kind of TV people dating saloon for 40 people to sit in one room, 20 from China, 20 from your side, and then to brainstorm together and really express what they're thinking, what they want to do, throw ideas at each other. And I think through a day's workshop of this kind, we will be able to start dating, courting each other, and finding what exactly how we can fit together, and then therefore facilitate a co-production. And he said, this is my pet project, but I haven't really started it yet. I'd like to start it maybe next year.
Okay.
然后就是我找了一个办法，是世界里的一个办法。英国有个拍动物的纪录片人叫马文，然后我们今年投了他800万，就投他拍动物，但是我们收获在什么地方？我们拍了2个编导，就是我们拍马文，然后马文纪录片动物片也拍出来了，我们拍马文也拍出来了，
两个节目
就是我们合作的模式。
对 ，So there's a very famous documentary maker called Marvin in the UK. He's specializing in animal nature documentaries. So we have paid him £800,000 to film to make a program for us, and we are sending 2 producers joining him, but we're not filming with him. We're filming him. Right. So we're filming him filming this nature documentary. So by the end of it, we get 2 programs.
Very clever.
对，很聪明，您的这个办法。Sorry， 交给您说。
OK， 这样实际刚才我谈了一个概念，就是大家关注中国市场。从分一杯羹这个概念，能不能大家理解为共同培育中国这个市场？刚才这位先生讲了一些跟中国合作的一些很积极的一种状态，我个人很欣赏。所以我就是刚才在想，我们今天这个座谈的这个主题是 China a long walk for a short drink， 这个还是个 question， 还是个问号。这个我是说能不能经过大家的一起努力，我不知道这该怎么去改，但是我是想给他，就是一个或者是 after long walk we will get a long drink。
So yeah. Mr. Zhao says that I'm really heartened to see so many people who are interested in China market, but in terms of I think instead of going there to get a drink, can we think of it as going there and work with us, and let's nurture the market together and work together as true partners and friends. What Richard has said earlier really resonated with me, because I think that's a very positive and very healthy way of looking at China. So I'd like to suggest, instead of, I mean, it's still a question, it's a long walk for a short drink, is it really? I think hopefully by not far away future, we'll be able to say it's a long walk for a long drink.
Which seems like the perfect way to end that. There was just some smart addict came up with that line, don't worry about it. Listen, this is just the start of a big journey for the Edinburgh Television Festival, as well for many in the industry. I would encourage as many of you as possible. Xu and Jean are very happy to act as translators, and please come to the presentations tomorrow and learn more about China, because there's clearly big opportunities out there. So I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Shung and Mr. Zhao, to Xu, to Jean and to Rick, and to you. Thank you very much.